Most people believe cats are cold, independent, and unpredictable, that they just randomly decide who they like and who they don't. But what if I told you that your cat has already chosen their favorite person, and it's not random at all? It's something much deeper, something almost invisible, happening every single day right under your nose. If you've ever wondered why your cat curls up beside one person but ignores another, or why they follow someone from room to room like a silent shadow, you're not imagining things. Cats don't love casually. When they choose someone, it's deliberate, almost calculated, yet deeply emotional in a way that's easy to miss if you don't know what to look for. You see, cats don't choose their favorite person based on who feeds them the most or who buys them toys. That's the biggest misconception. Food might earn you attention, but it doesn't earn you trust. And trust, that's everything in a cat's world. At their core, cats are both hunters and prey. That dual nature makes them incredibly sensitive to energy, behavior, and emotional consistency. They're constantly reading people, not with logic like we do, but with instinct. Every movement, every tone of voice, every small reaction you have, it all gets stored somewhere in their quiet, watchful mind. And over time, a pattern begins to form. The person a cat chooses is usually the one who makes them feel the safest without even trying. Not the loudest, not the most playful, not even the most affectionate. It's the one who understands boundaries, even without realizing it. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how cats often gravitate toward the person in the room who's not paying attention to them? The one who isn't trying to pick them up or chase them around. That's not coincidence. That's comfort. Cats don't trust intensity right away. To them, sudden affection can feel overwhelming, even threatening. So when someone exists calmly, without expectation, without pressure, the cat starts to relax. And in that relaxation, something powerful begins to grow. Connection.
But safety alone isn't enough. A cat's favorite person is also someone who becomes emotionally predictable. That doesn't mean boring, it means stable. Cats thrive on knowing what to expect. If your energy is constantly shifting, if you're affectionate one moment and distant the next, it creates uncertainty. And uncertainty to a cat feels like danger. The person they choose is the one whose presence feels like a steady rhythm, someone whose voice, touch, and behavior don't suddenly change without warning. Over time, that consistency builds something incredibly rare in a cat's world: complete trust. And trust, once given by a cat, is one of the purest forms of love you can experience. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Cats don't just choose based on what you do, they choose based on how you feel. They can sense emotional states in ways we don't fully understand. If you've ever had a cat sit quietly beside you when you're sad, or rest their paw on you during a difficult moment, that's not random. They are drawn to emotional depth, to subtle shifts in your mood, to the unspoken parts of you. Your cat isn't just observing your actions, they're connecting with your inner world. And often, the person they choose is the one whose emotional frequency matches theirs. Calm, observant, slightly reserved, but deeply present. It's not about who tries the hardest, it's about who feels right. There's also something almost ritualistic about how cats build these bonds. Small, repeated interactions matter more than big gestures. The way you greet them in the morning, the tone you use when you say their name, the quiet moments when you sit together without needing anything from each other. These moments may seem insignificant to you, but to your cat, they are everything. They are building a story about you in their mind. A story that says, this person is safe. This person understands me. This person is mine. And once that story is complete, your cat's behavior begins to change in subtle but meaningful ways. They start seeking you out, not just for food or comfort, but simply to be near you. They may sit beside you even when there are cozier places available.
They might slow blink at you across the room, a silent gesture of trust that many people miss entirely. They may even bring you small gifts, like toys, or sometimes things you'd rather not receive. But in their world, this is a sign of inclusion. You're part of their circle now, part of their family.
And then there's the way they sleep around you. A cat will only truly relax in deep sleep when they feel completely safe. If your cat exposes their belly near you or sleeps stretched out without tension, it's one of the highest forms of trust they can offer. In that moment, they are vulnerable, and they've chosen you to protect them. But what's even more powerful is this. Once a cat chooses their person, that bond is incredibly difficult to break. Even if someone else feeds them more, even if another person tries harder to gain their attention, the connection your cat has formed isn't based on convenience, it's based on emotional security. And emotional security, once established, becomes irreplaceable. That's why some cats follow their favorite person everywhere. Not because they're needy, but because they feel anchored to them. You become their safe point in a constantly changing environment. Their world might be full of noise, movement, and unpredictability, but you are constant. And in a cat's mind, that makes you everything. But here's the part that most people don't realize. Choosing you isn't just about what your cat gets from you. It's also about what they give to you. When a cat chooses you, they're offering something incredibly rare. They're allowing you into their guarded, instinct-driven world. They're lowering defenses that have been shaped by thousands of years of survival. They're saying, without words, I trust you with my safety, my space, and my presence. That kind of trust can't be forced. It can't be rushed. And it definitely can't be faked. It has to be earned, quietly, over time. So if you're wondering whether your cat has chosen you, don't just look at the obvious signs. Look deeper. Notice how they behave when you're not trying to interact with them. Pay attention to the quiet moments, the subtle glances, the way they position themselves near you without making a sound.
Because that's where the truth lives. Not in loud affection, but in silent connection. And if your cat hasn't chosen you yet, that's okay too. It doesn't mean they won't. It just means the story they're building about you is still being written. Every calm interaction, every moment of patience, every time you respect their space, you're adding another layer to that story. And one day, without you even realizing it, something will shift. They'll sit closer than usual. They'll look at you differently. They'll choose you. And when they do, it won't feel dramatic or obvious. It will feel quiet, natural, almost like it was always meant to be that way. Because, in their world, it was. So the next time your cat curls up beside you, or watches you from across the room with those slow, thoughtful eyes, remember this. You weren't chosen by accident. You were chosen because in a world full of noise and uncertainty, you became their sense of peace. And that's a kind of love most people will never fully understand.